Welcome to the world of wireless IoT. My name is Niklas van Boxelaar and I am pleased to welcome you to the now already second season of the webcast Let's Talk Wireless IoT. We talk to exhibitors and to sponsors of the Wireless IoT Tomorrow 2022 to find out what they have prepared for the exhibition and for the conference, how they are reacting to the current challenges and what they expect from the event. Let's keep the introduction short and jump right in. Looking forward to welcome you on the 19th and 20th of October for the Wireless IoT Tomorrow 2022. And I welcome James Goodland. He's Director RAIN RFID Solutions at NXP, and I look forward to an informative, exciting talk about NXP. My first question today, James, how are you?
Very well, Niklas. Yourself?
I'm fine as well, thank you for asking. And before we start our conversation, I would like to just add one more background information, and that is that NXP is a gold sponsor of the Wireless IoT Tomorrow 2022, but enough background information for the moment. I would say let's start the conversation.
Sounds good.
All right, so here's already the first question. NXP Semiconductors has already been a partner since 2016. What expectations do you have for the Wireless IoT Tomorrow 2022?
Well, firstly, this is the first opportunity I will have had to come out and visit people in a conference of this type for a couple of years. I'm sure it is for others as well. So very much looking forward to getting out and seeing people. And from my point of view, I've actually never attended the Wireless IoT Tomorrow conference as yet. But as you say, NXP have for quite some years now. And we've been visiting, sponsoring, exhibiting for all this time, and we've got a proud association with the conference. We found it very, very useful, a great opportunity to interact with our partners, with our friends and our customers with all the technologies, not just RAIN RFID, which of course I represent, but also NFC, BLE and the others as well. And so this year we're expecting the usual introduction of new products, case studies, and the opportunity to have these discussions with other industry leaders and see where the technologies are taking us.
Right. Thank you very much for this clear answer. And you already answered my additional question as well, and that is you will be on site at the show live as well, as I just heard, correct?
Yes, absolutely. Yes, so I'll be there, of course, but there'll be some of my colleagues there as well.
Right.
So there'll be a few of us attending.
Okay, so that is a great piece of information for everybody who is watching the webcast right now. So if some questions appear in your head during our talk, James will be there on site, so make sure to maybe talk to him and ask questions if you have. And yeah, I want to point out the fact that this is the first time that you attend live, but NXP, of course, is a partner of the event for a very long time. So they experienced how the event is growing. Then, of course, the Corona situation. And it's great to have you on site this year at the show in a, let me say, a more normalized way. Exactly like you expressed, it is possible again to meet people, and that's great news, and we are very glad to have you there. And we will release later on. You are not only there as an attendee, but also you have a let me say, special job to do, but we come back to that later on. For now, I would like to ask a more general question about NXP. So we all know that after the Corona pandemic, the challenges haven't stopped. So we see new challenges, we see ongoing challenges, price increases, we see inflation, we have still some logistic problems, just to name a few. So my questions would be, what challenges have NXP faced this year?
Yeah, no, it's a good question, a very valid point. Yeah, this a very well documented situation with semiconductors
Right.
affecting the entire industry. the entire semiconductor industry, not just the things we're talking about here. And that's had the knock-on effects of the supply chain and the manufacturing. So whilst we were having these supply constraints, at the same time, actually, RAIN RFID is seeing increased demand. So kind of extra challenges that way.
Right.
And we've tried to keep our customers up to date wherever we can. We've tried to ensure that no projects have been adversely affected, so everything continues. And as a large multinational company, we've been trying to ensure, working with our suppliers and partners, that that we can support our customers. And some of the fairly significant investments that we've been making over the past couple of years are starting to come to fruition, which is good news. But at the same time, as I say, the RAIN world has seen a massive increase in its demand from the retail industry, the existing projects that are going on, but now growing to new geographies or new categories, growing very fast. And then some of these new projects in the retail world, but also the new industries, the industries that haven't seen quite so much. So the parcel, the post, the medical, some of the industrial stuff, baggage tagging, vehicle tagging, all these sorts of things are really starting to take off now, increasing the demand. So whilst it's been very difficult, it's also seen this growth. And while I guess the pandemic and the economic situation is clearly not a good thing, this is actually pushed certain companies, certain industries to understand the very important need for supply chain visibility, manufacturing visibility. Right. And so the very same companies that have been impacted by this are starting to see RAIN RFID and some of the associated technologies as vital. So we're expecting to see further growth because the pandemic has introduced these new challenges and opportunities.
Right. So absolutely understandable, and great to hear that you pointed out how the technology is not only increasing the demand because of all the positive effects that we saw over the last years, but also because new markets started to realize we have to react to the current challenges, and these technologies are part of the solution, or are the solution, how to be more safe, not only for the challenges of today, but maybe also of tomorrow. So I think that's a great message, how these technologies can help companies, even industries, to face the challenges of today. So thank you very much for making this very clear. You also talked about different products and solutions very briefly in your answer. So let's come back to that point. Let's talk about products and solutions. And the keyword here, of course, is RAIN RFID portfolios. So let me ask in general, what can you tell us more about that?
Sure. So well, we've, as NXP, actually, there's a number of technologies over. It's not just RAIN, of course, that's what I represent, but we have stalwarts such as NFC and BLE technologies. We have some of the emerging things like UWB, Sigfox type technologies, and then some of the technologies which are essential for the infrastructure, microcontrollers and secure elements, those sort of things. So there's the whole portfolio, but drilling down just into the RAIN RFID section and the U code chips, as we call them. There's three main categories that we have. We have the very high performance ones, which require just the standard EPC memory bank. We have the memory type chips, so the ones that have a little bit of extra memory on there over and above that standard identifier. And then the chips we call UCode DNA, the UCode DNA family, which has cryptographic security on it for those that needs a bit of authentication. And so while they're not all entirely associated to a vertical industry necessarily, but there's a general sort of rule of thumb or theme that some of these high performance lower memory chips work within the retail world, within the parcel and post, within the baggage tagging type worlds. Um, and these chips are Ucode 8 and Ucode 9. And these enable some of the use cases in there, such as the inventory management, as you'd expect, but also things like unmanned stores, point of sale, theft detection in the retail space, of course, baggage tracking, making sure that we know where bags are, whether they're on planes or in the airport, wherever they are, and those parcels as well. But because of the high performance, they're also able to manage some of these applications which are very difficult to tag. So the item very difficult to tag, or have smaller antennas either way. So there's a lot of opportunity there, a lot of things going on with the standard chips that we have. But then we've got these memory chips, and these are the ones which allow that little bit more data on the tag, and that little bit more data being maybe the lot number, the product type, the color, the expiry date, whatever it might be. This bit of information that stays with the chip, so stays on the chip and stays with the product as it goes through the supply chain all the way. So there's no need for a database lookup anywhere, making it much faster. Much easier to use. And then those final ones, the Ucode DNA ones, they're all for when we need a real authentication. So whether it's securing the airways between the reader and the tag, maybe in a vehicle identification type project, whether it's vehicle registration or toll roading or access management, to make sure everything's secure there, or whether it's in a brand identity and we're trying to prove authentication of a particular item. So the bag that you're, the high price bag that you're buying, you want to ensure that that's authentic. Some of the Ucode DNA chips can do that as well. So the portfolio we've got covers pretty much every use case out there you can think of at the moment.
Right. So in the beginning you pointed out, and I think that's a very important point, that we of course focus on RAIN RFID today, but NXP has a lot more to offer. But today the focus is RAIN RFID, but more information can be found, of course, and please talk to the experts and hear information about different technologies as well. But I think what you really well pointed out is how wide not only the product portfolio is, but also the options and solutions behind it. What is possible, or how much is possible? How many people, how many industries could be using these solutions or these specific products to realize a sufficient solution for their specific problem? You gave us a great overview, but is there maybe one specific solution that comes to your head right now that you can give us a bit of more information about?
Yeah, well, I guess some of these solutions are niche, let's say, or smaller than others. So the very famous ones, the ones that the industry really has been built on, are the inventory accuracy within the retail environment. So that one's very well known, and so much so that it's rolling out, and it really is business as usual for that sort of technology. But some of the more perhaps interesting ones is maybe using Ucode DNA in the vehicle identification. And there are a number of countries and territories around the world now which are transitioning away from optical cameras to
Right.
track vehicles, to know they're registered with a traditional license plate, but now to use RAIN RFID to know if that vehicle is actually properly registered, and then use them for toll roading as well. And what this is doing is ensuring that there's a fast throughput of vehicles on the road. They don't need to stop for toll booths, of course. The governments and the entities are now ensuring that they're getting the full registration value, the dollar value of the registrations. But the advantage is there really is that this technology doesn't need any maintenance on the vehicle. So once the license plate is on the vehicle or the windshield sticker is in the vehicle, it doesn't need a battery to keep it going. It doesn't need to be renewed or anything like that. It's there for the length of time that car survives. And so it's much easier to maintain and less to install in the first place. So once countries and entities have these systems installed, the number of use cases can absolutely grow.
Right.
And so we start off with a vehicle registration, move that on to toll roading, two of the most obvious ones. But then it can be used for things like access control. So allowing vehicles onto parking lots or into secure spaces. The vehicles can then also be used using exactly the same tag and exactly the same security connection, because it's a secure chip, for payment solutions. So you can perhaps go to a coffee shop without having to do anything, or a gas station without having to do anything, and automatically you're paying for what you've used or what you've pre-ordered or whatever else.
Yeah.
So so there's plenty of opportunities once that tag is on the vehicle.
Right. Yeah, first off, the benefits you just mentioned are, of course, let me say, kind of obvious. So it is so clear how to use the technology to get those advantages that you just mentioned. And it's also interesting how you describe that it starts at a certain point, maybe with vehicle identification, but at that point can develop basically to, yeah, kind of endless possibilities. So I would like to invite everybody. That is the exact important message. Let's talk about solutions. Let's talk about ways to find solutions for your problems, because the solutions, the products are there.
And what we're finding now, actually, in kind of back to the famous examples of the retail world and the inventory management within the store, because those items are being tagged before they arrive, at the manufacturing point, wherever they may be manufactured, the tag starts its life right at the beginning. And so
Right.
using that tag throughout the supply chain is possible. And whilst a lot of the return of investment has been built upon the store inventory,
Right.
we're now starting to see that push back into the supply chain and many more uses of it.
All right. So you don't only have the advantages of, let me say, a very speedy inventory management in the store itself, but you also have a way more clear understanding of the logistic chain itself. And right now we are talking about industries that are very heavily affected, not only by Corona, but also during the current challenges. So not easy years. And especially here, it's so important that the technology makes it easy to get the benefits and makes your business easier. Absolutely understandable. Okay, so I think this is a good situation to, I would not call it a reveal because it's already visible on the website, of course, but you will also be a speaker because NXP is also part of the gold sponsors, also taking part of the conference. So you will be giving a lecture as well. Can you tell us a bit more about the lecture and what you will be focusing on?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so yeah, we're looking forward to coming for sure. And as I say, I've got a few colleagues are going to be joining me there on site, and we've already got some meetings lined up. So very much looking forward to it. And as you say, I'm going to take the opportunity to address the conference. I'm going to talk a little bit about RAIN RFID tags that use that additional memory, so memory tags.
Right.
And these tags are the minority of tags, quite frankly, that are sold out there, that are used, because most tags that are used just have the basic identifier. But they're often overlooked for a number of reasons. And what I'd like to do is talk a little bit about how the additional memory capacity can be used, where some of the real benefits are, and some of the industries that are using that memory capacity now. So it's certainly not right for every application, But for those applications where it's needed, it's an absolutely essential addition.
Right, okay. So you can be sure I will be there and I will definitely follow this lecture. And please make sure to write down the time and the day of James' lecture to be there. Don't miss it. And maybe afterwards or before, talk to him, share some ideas, ask some questions, talk about products, talk about solutions. You gave a really clear impression of what you want to talk about in the conference. We also talked about solutions and products. Right now, I would like to ask, maybe it could be a kind of a strange question because I know you don't have a bulb that can show you what the future will bring, but here it is. We basically saw a lot of development if we talk about RAIN RFID technology over the past years. A lot of things that were not possible years ago are possible today. So my question for you would be, what will change, let me say, over the next 5 years, and what will be possible maybe in the future?
Yeah, no, it's a really good point. So over the past few years, there's been a massive growth of the industry. I think, 5 or 6 years ago, about 5 billion tag chips sold, and in 2021, it's very nearly 30 billion tag chips sold. So massive increases. And so it's clear that RAIN RFID is growing very fast, and as I stated previously, this growth is coming from the existing markets that we know, expanding to new geographies and new items. But more so, the future sees these new industries which are starting to really come on stream now. Big ones being parcel and post, of course. I've said that before, and medical and food tracking as well. So tracking food parcels within their supply chains, and all these industries, they really are doing the same thing. They're tracking something from one place to another, increasing the visibility within their supply chains and their value chains. And so we're going to see more of the same, more of these efficiencies. I think the RAIN Alliance suggested that in 2019, I think it was, the whole industry was worth around about 2 billion, and by 2024 we should be seeing it near $5 billion. So significant increases, and these increases are going to be coming again from these industries we've talked about. So you can expect that not only most of the clothes in a retail store, but all items in a retail store will have a tag on it. Not only certain airlines having their baggage tagged, but all airlines having baggage tagged. All vehicles, or many vehicles around the world, starting to have their number plates or license plates tagged as well. All the packages delivered to your door having tags on them. All these sort of things, even to the point of view of unmanned stores. So we're starting to see unmanned stores appear now, many of which use RAIN RFID. So I'm expecting we're going to see many more stores without staff. Of course, in certain parts of the world, actually having people to staff retail stores is difficult. So this actually fits in with another trend, trying to automate things. And then new ideas, the whole idea of sustainability, governments around the world starting to try and get rid of those items that are thrown away, packaging that's thrown away. So your burger may very well be delivered in a returnable tray soon, and that returnable tray will most likely have a RAIN RFID tag on it, so they can start tracking those things, so they can start understanding where they've gone, and so they can start managing the inventory much better. So I mean, in short, I'm expecting to see a lot of things, most things that don't have a battery in them, most of these things that we interact with that goes from person to person or entity to entity, actually having a RAIN RFID tag on it. So I think RAIN and RFID will become much more of a common thing and common parlance within the general public. So we'll be seeing more of the same, I think.
Very clear focus. Very well understood. So you talked a bit about also a new challenge that maybe will come up over the past years, and that is that we have to be even more efficient with resources we are using. And the keyword is sustainability. And you just talked about new ideas, how, for example, reusable items could be tagged to make sure, hey, this is a, I don't know, fifth cycle of this item, we can absolutely use it again. For example, it made these turns, and that's exactly not only. We talked a lot about how the technology is helping for the challenges of today, but you made it pretty clear how important it is to have these technologies to develop new ideas to face challenges that are laying maybe before us. And I also well understood how you said how the number of items that will be tagged will be increase, and I think dramatically increase. So we will see more and more things and items that can be followed or that offer information and that are tagged. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely, no doubt. And part of this drive is not just from the fact that we've got existing companies, but the return on investments is being understood. The benefits are being understood, and the technology is at the state now, both in terms of the RFID bit, but also the connectivity part, where it's the right time. So everything is coming together at the right time. So we're going to be having more of the same. We've got those starting bits. Some industries further ahead than others, but we've got these starting seeds. So again, as I say, it'll be more of the same, but I expect it to be pervasive everywhere.
Okay, I'm already interested in seeing over the next couple of years how it will develop, what kind of new ideas we see, new solutions that will be developed that take off at a certain place but end maybe somewhere completely different. And I also look forward to get new information, for example, also from the NXP expert team over the next years, how you will influence those new ideas and solutions with your products, your output. Very interesting time behind us, but also a very interesting time before us. You made that very clear. So thank you for that. Yeah, very interesting times we are living in right now. Okay, so we also came to the last question today, and here it is. To end the webcast, I would like to ask you, what does the Wireless IoT Tomorrow 2022 mean for NXP Semiconductors?
Okay, yeah, sure. It means a lot to our company, as you said previously. We've been attending for quite a number of years now, and as one of the kind of leading authorities in RAIN RFID and the wireless technology space, it's essential that we're able to converse with all of our friends, partners, industry leaders in general, and of course our customers to understand what's going on, to share ideas, to exchange views, and the Wireless IoT Tomorrow event gives us the whole industry actually the platform to be able to do this. So we're very excited to be attending. As I say, I've never attended in person, but I have attended online over the pandemic years, and found it extremely useful. So we're all very much looking forward to it, and very much looking forward to seeing you all in October.
Thank you very much for this great feedback, and I can tell you it's great to have such a strong partner on our side as a gold sponsor. And I would like to invite everybody, make sure to don't miss the lecture of James and talk to him. You just said how important it is to share ideas, talk to each other, maybe develop new ideas, look at a different perspective at products or solutions. And yeah, it's great to have you, and I look already forward to welcome you in person at the 19th and 20th of October at the RMCC in Wiesbaden, Germany. And I will definitely be there to follow your lecture. And I'm also looking forward to shake your hands, maybe have some small talk. And yeah, thank you very much for your time today, give these very clear and understand answers, and see you in the end of October.
Looking forward to seeing you there. Thank you indeed.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye.